Looking at Labour Party manifesto, first of all, they promised to ban conversion therapy. Here's what the manifesto says. Labour will finally deliver a full trans-inclusive ban on conversion practices while protecting the freedom of people to explore their sexual orientation and gender identity. So they go a full trans-inclusive ban, but clearly a caveat there because they recognise that there are free speech issues with banning conversion therapy or conversion practices, because basically it's banning a conversation or banning certain types of consensual conversations. So we don't see how they can do that, how they can square that circle, ban conversion therapy and protect free speech. So we'll see how that works out. On transgenderism, they say, quote, "We will modernise, simplify and reform the intrusive and outdated gender recognition law into a new process." And they say we'll remove indignities for trans people who deserve recognition and acceptance while retaining the need for a diagnosis of gender dysphoria from a specialist doctor, enabling access to the healthcare pathway. So that's stepping short of gender self-ID because they want to retain that doctor's sign-off on it, but still saying they want to make it simpler and easier to change gender identity. And so that's clearly something we wouldn't be happy with. They do say that they will implement all the recommendations of the Cass Review, which we would support as well. No mention of abortion or euthanasia in this manifesto, although remember that Keir Starmer did say earlier this year that he would allow time for a vote on euthanasia or assisted suicide when he comes into power. So we'll see what happens there. They do want to introduce VAT on independent schools. We're concerned about this because we're supporting lots of small Christian independent schools that really struggle to make ends meet and try and make the fees very affordable, often have volunteer staff, even volunteer teachers. And adding 20% VAT on top of what they already charge will be very, very difficult for them. Obviously, there's increased demand as well for independent schools and for Christian schools in particular because of sexualisation of children in schools and all of the indoctrination into woke ideology and so on. So we don't support VAT on independent schools. I think the influence of Islam on Labour Party is starting to be seen in Gaza. They talk about an immediate ceasefire and recognising a Palestinian state in their manifesto. That's a manifesto commitment there. Also, they're going to commit to a new Race Equality Act, which sounds fine until you remember that the Labour Party has formally adopted the APPG definition of Islamophobia, which defines Islamophobia as a type of racism. And if that's how they define Islamophobia and they're going to do a Race Equality Act, you can expect that definition of Islamophobia to be in law. And that definition does inhibit free speech in relation to Islamic beliefs and practices. So very concerning because that's basically an Islamic blasphemy law that we could have under a Labour government. There's some things that we welcome here, like a new offence of criminal exploitation of children, 3,000 new nurseries to be provided, reforming gambling regulation, and reviewing parental leave so it better supports working families. So some things to be pleased about, quite a lot to be concerned about, lots to ask your candidates about, and do keep joining us as we pray through this election period. Thank you.